Sure, you can use a normal keyboard, but if you're seeking a job in IT or a technical field, let's face it, it's not about skill or knowledge. No, the true measure of your tech prowess is the number of annoying clicks you can crank out. So if you aspire to be the reigning champion of office annoyance, and by default, an elite hacker, you'll need a keyboard that's as unique and quirky as your personality and your own brand of social awkwardness. And the Corne Split Ergonomic Mechanical Keyboard does just that. Before you hit the books and learn to code, why not whip up something truly special? A keyboard that sounds like you're slaughtering insects. After all, who wouldn't want to be the person turning heads and rolling eyes with every keystroke? This custom Corne keyboard is hand soldered and sleek, and can hot swap the ideal key switch for your needs or level of annoyance. I'm James Cherry, and I enjoy making things. Most of what I do here is focused around musical instruments, but I've been branching out a bit. So if you like technology, woodworking, CNC, design, and manufacturing content, check this out. I wouldn't consider this a tutorial or build guide, but I hope to impart a few lessons learned, and if I'm lucky, make it easier for you if you decide to embark on a build like this. KeyMaker is not a sponsor, so my opinions are unbiased, as I prefer, and I plan to keep it that way. If you like what you see or learn here, feel free to support it on Patreon. There's a link in the description, and $1 a month is all I ask from supporters. And that gets you access to all the Fusion 360 files and add-ins I create. It's a great deal. The build guide starts with soldering in hot swap connectors, which made installing the diodes a bit tricky, so I put the diodes in first on the second board. These things are small, so something to improve your vision will help. I'm using pretty basic equipment here, and with some better stuff, I'm sure it would be easier. But this can get the job done, or most of it. More on that later. Compared to the diodes, the TRS jack and reset button are a breeze, and the change to a through-hole component was a relief. The microcontrollers are straightforward soldering, at least for me. I've done a lot of these and it goes pretty quickly. With them in, I can solder in the OLED screens, which are just as easy. The build guide states that the microcontrollers should be programmed before soldering, to test that they're functional. These don't have built-in reset switches, so you'll have to jumper the points to get that to happen. I didn't bother, and they worked fine. I chose to forego soldering the tiny surface mount LEDs, as I don't need or want them in this build. which takes out a considerable amount of complexity for me. The last step to complete these boards is to install the switches, and it's straightforward. It's a great idea to get them in before you program the micros, so you can immediately move into testing. As for programming the microcontrollers, I'm pretty familiar with the process, so it went easily for me. I just followed the build guide and flashed it with a QMK loader. It's pretty easy. You just set it up and then double press the reset button with the auto load selected, and it does its thing. I wanted a case that was a step up from the 3D printed options, and as I have a CNC and the ability to model and make a custom case, I probably should. I liked the combination and contrast of walnut and brass, so I designed a case that could integrate some knurled brass hardware for the tenting. I scaled an image in Fusion 360, drew the outline, set a few lines, and extruded the profiles I was looking for. Then I rounded off the sharp edges, and from there it was easy to design some toolpaths and machine. I first mill the pocket for the board and the tenting feet. Then I cut the profile. Finally, I round the corners by using a scallop toolpath with a tapered end mill. I'm installing 4 standoffs to hold the boards into the cases, and I'm going to do it old school. Sure, I could have added these to the CAD model and CNC drilled them, but I didn't want to go to all the hassle of making sure their positions were perfect. And I like to do things by hand from time to time, to keep you on your toes. I also installed the tenting feet. I found that only a tiny amount of tenting put my wrist into a very comfortable position. I've seen these in crazy positions, and if that works for you, go for it. Make something that works great for you. And with that, it's finished and ready for the office. I've really enjoyed these Corne keyboards, and while it takes a bit to get used to them, it's really not all that difficult. It's just soldering, following detailed instructions, cloning Git repos, flashing firmware, CAD modeling, the CAM toolpaths, sanding and finishing, and assembly. Well, maybe it's not that easy. But for me, it's a combination of all the things that I enjoy. And if that's you too, then this might be exactly what you're looking for. This key maker kit was great, and I have also built the typeractive Corne kit, and it's excellent too. If you're looking to get into this stuff, check them out. For the next one, I'm thinking about making a 10 key pad and doing it all from scratch, citing the boards and picking out all the components without using a kit. Let me know if this is something you'd like to see, and thanks for watching.